Hello, River Landing. Well, I'm stuck here at home, but thankfully I can do some things remotely, like make a video. Monday is a day we remember and honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and I want to remind you that he was and is a contemporary Moses for much of the black community, including many of those who work at River Landing. The Exodus was a central biblical metaphor for King and his followers. The story doesn't resonate as much with white Americans for one simple reason. We already live in the promised land. We have always had access to milk and honey. Those who resonate with King's message still live in the wilderness of segregation, Jim Crow, and in many places, white terrorism by groups like the KKK and today the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and others. I grew up in a segregated and racist Southeast Texas where civil rights was a code phrase for civil unrest caused by blacks. My own racial bias and ignorance began to change in grad school and when I moved to Mississippi to serve as a pastor. It was there I could see how the Civil War was still being prosecuted as a civic war in courtrooms, classrooms, and human hearts, rather than battlefields. That experience made me look in the mirror, and I didn't see Jesus looking back at me. No one had a higher regard for American democracy than Dr. King. The principles and freedoms expressed in our Constitution and in our laws, he believed, were the best and highest ever devised. Specifically, they provided a nonviolent way toward justice and equality, and therefore hope for people of color. There is no way that Black America can change the systems that still prevent them from buying property in some places, that still keep them from getting loans or jobs even when they are equally qualified, that still imprison them at 5 times the rate for the same crimes as whites, and that suppress the right to vote. I didn't want to believe this was still happening, but then I saw the evidence. It's still happening. I am so grateful for the staff members of color who serve here at River Landing, and that their response to systemic oppression is service rather than retribution. This week especially, I hope that those of us with more power and privilege will consider how we might bless them and their families as they have blessed us. Liberty and justice for all, my friends. Have a great week.